Okay, good morning, CBC. Today we have a very special assembly. We celebrated Women's Day on Monday, and at CBC, we decided we didn't just want to do one day where we celebrate women, we decided to do Women's Month. The reason is some backstory of one reason we chose it is because like 2 months ago, Miss Fox, Mrs. Van Vuren, Mr. Brink, and I went we went to go visit an organization, and at that organization in the community we saw many young girls that are sitting here today and in the junior school as well, like them, that were just on the streets roaming around having no purpose. They weren't at school. Even if there was COVID, we asked them, they barely go to school. So that really touched our hearts, and we thought we can't have that because women are meant to be the future. They're meant to build up our communities. So we wanted to think about what we could do. And we asked the community, what could we do at CBC? And they gave us some ideas. And then I chatted to Oyanda, and then we also had a few ideas. So as you know, in the first week, we highlighted period poverty. So we sold our bows for 5 Rand to get sanitary towels. And Oyanda, who only wanted to get 100, she said, that is my target. We actually managed to double that. So thank you, CBC. We got over 200 sanitary towels. Most of them are in my classroom. And together with the bags and the nail polishes, we'll be giving that to the girls in that community. Reason is, we don't want those girls on the streets to miss school because they've got something that is out of their control. Then this week, we are highlighting gender-based violence. We know in our community, in South Africa, and in the world, it is a huge issue. I know we haven't highlighted it enough in our college, and we hope this is the first steps, and that you sitting here today at CBC can start to understand gender-based violence better and to take actions and to teach people around you. But we'll highlight that more just now. And then in the last week, we're going to celebrate women. We have to end off on a high note because women have accomplished a lot. We've got a lot of leaders in our school, in our country, and in the world. So we want to highlight their achievements. So I will read something just now, but I'm going to hand over to Uganda, which will run the assembly, and then Hope, which will be doing the breast cancer awareness. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Every year in August, our country marks Women's Month, where we pay tribute to the more than 20,000 women who marched to the Union buildings on 9 August in 1956 in protest against the extension of past laws to women. This year marks 65 years since the watershed 1956 Women's March to the Union buildings. The year 2021 also marks the 26th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action, which created a platform for greater gender equality. This year's commemoration has been held under the theme, Realizing Women's Rights. Ensuring and protecting rights for all has been a constant struggle for government and our social partners as we battle the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. But women in South Africa also face a second pandemic, and this is gender-based violence. As we are in this assembly this morning, somewhere in this country, a woman or a child is being abused, beaten, assaulted, or terrorized. They face this violence on the streets, at school, on campuses, at work, places of worship, and worst of all, in their own homes. In a country with the most progressive of constitutions, which promises equality and dignity for all, the women and children of South Africa live in fear of violence every single day. As we close this week's gender-based violence campaign, we ask ourselves, for how long must this go on? For how much longer must we say enough is enough, only for it to continue? It simply cannot go on. To create a society in which women enjoy safety, dignity, and respect, it is first and foremost that our own attitudes must change. And as many of our world leaders have said before, violence against women is not a women's problem. It is a men's problem. As young men, take responsibility at a very personal level for the protection of the women and children of our country. It is men who can challenge harmful cultural and social practices that undermine women's rights. It is only men who can and must refuse to be a part of criminal gangs that assault and rape women. It is men who can and must take responsibility for their own personal behavior and understand that coercing a woman to have sex is rape and that no means no. It is men who must raise their sons to understand that women and men are equal and they should lead by this example. It is men who must repudiate the idea that a man must prove his manhood by abusing a woman. It is men who, after being convicted and sentenced for violence, can seek rehabilitation to ensure that they do not offend again. As men at CBC, please say no. No, domestic violence is not a private family matter. No, a woman is not inviting rape or sexual assault because of her personal life choices, where she chooses to socialize, or how she dresses. Young men must say no, just as all South Africans must say no. No to violence against women, against children, against the LGBTQI+ community, and all other marginalized groups. Here at CBC, we understand our role as well as our responsibility as allies to women all over the world. And that is why we are here in this hall today saying no. No to the ongoing oppression against our women and children. And today, we have the privilege of meeting a brave woman named Ayanda, a gender-based violence survivor who will share her testimony with us today. Thank you.
Hello to everyone at CBC. My name is Ayanda. I'm a survivor. I'm a rape survivor, actually. It was 2014 on the 10th of August. It was on a Sunday. I was on my way home, coming from a friend. I got into a taxi. There's taxis that we use locally that we called Avanzas. I got into a taxi. The taxi decided to take me home. On the way, the driver decided not to go where I was going. So he decided to stop another taxi for me, which is fine. I got into this taxi. There were two women inside. So the driver asked me to first drop these two women, then he's gonna go and drop me. I said, okay, it's fine, we can go. We dropped these two women, then he went my way. On our way, we were talking. I was sitting in front. I didn't notice anything. I think it was like 15 minutes drive before I get where I was going. He started taking out a gun and pointed me. He asked me to give him money that I have. I had 50 rand in my pocket. He took a pair of shoes. He took a gold tooth that I had. He drove the car into a place where they were keeping the waste. I tried to fight with him, but he had a gun pointed at me. He drove this car into this place. When we got there, he asked me to undress. I said, I'm not gonna do that. You can do whatever you want to do with me, but I'm not gonna undress myself. That's when he decided to undress me. He undressed me, he raped me, and there was no condom, despite of all the infections and the diseases that we have. After what he did, he left me just there. I had no money, had no shoes. He ran away with my shoes. But luckily, I knew how the car looked inside, and I knew how the driver looked. I went into the house that was nearby. I asked for help. The lady asked me what happened. I just told her I was being robbed. So she decided to give me money so that I can go home. She walked with me to the taxi. I said, no, I'm not gonna take another taxi. So she decided to ask her husband to drop me. So they went together, they dropped me, but not at home, just nearby place. So I had to walk home. As I got home, I was alone. My parents are not staying with me, they're in Eastern Cape. I was crying. I went to a friend's place. I was crying. I couldn't stop crying because I couldn't believe this happened to me. She asked me what happened. I asked her to give me some water. She gave me water, I drank water. She asked me what happened. I told her the story, so we had to phone my parents. She phoned my parents, and there's nothing that they can do. I had to do everything myself. I decided to phone the police. The police came. They took me to a day hospital. The day hospital told me there's nothing they can do. I must first go to the police station where they're gonna take the statement. I went to the police station. I had to sleep over there by the police station so they can take me to a rape crisis place in the next morning, which is called Tutuzela. I went to Tutuzela, they did some tests. Everything was done. I had to stay there because I had to wait for the police to take me back home. The police came around about 12 to 1. They took me home. I washed myself, I sleep. That was all I was doing. Wash and sleep. I was not eating. For like 3 months, I didn't eat. So this other day, the detective came to my place. They knocked about 11 in the evening. They asked me, do you still recognize the car that the guy was driving? I said, yes. And the guy? I said, yes. Because there's a guy that has been caught on Monday. He raped a girl that stays in my same area. So the detectives were with a girl that was raped on a Monday because I was raped on a Sunday, the 10th. The other lady was raped on the 11th, the Monday. So we went to the police station. When we got there, I saw this car. I told them, this is the car. And they asked me what was inside the car. I told them, as they went to the car, they saw everything that I wrote on the statement is the same thing that it's in the car. So they took me inside the police station to the cells. They asked me, how will you recognize this guy? I told them the voice and the clothes he was wearing. As he was coming out, I just told them, this is the guy that did this to me. He started talking. I started crying, but I told myself, you know what? There's no way. You can't cry for this guy. I just have to be brave and strong for the sake of my health. So they locked him up. I went home. I had to go to court cases. We went to court cases with the other lady. What happened is they released him because it was his first time he was arrested. He ran away. That was 2014. 2015, we had nothing of him. 2016, the same detective came back to me, telling me that they got the guy, he ran away to Eastern Cape, but they caught him. He raped an old woman that side as well. So that's how they caught him. He came back. I had to go for court cases. I was going for my cases because I remembered each and everything that happened that day as it happened yesterday. Up until the judge decided to give him his sentence. He was sentenced to 40 years for both of the women that he raped because we had the same perpetrator. Guys, we should be careful of public transport. Public transport is not safe at all because the time I took that taxi, I thought I was safe, but I was not. We as women, we are not wrong for wearing the short skirts. The markets are selling those short skirts and the bum shorts and the swimwear for a reason. For us to wear them, not to be torn by men. We have to stay strong. I know it's not something easy for a woman to go out there and say, I am a survivor of rape. It's a process that we have to go through each and every day. But the good thing is all you need is a support. If we women can stand together and support each other, we can overcome this gender-based violence. If your friend is telling you that I have been raped, you don't have to laugh at your friend. You must just try to support your friend. It's not something that she asked for. It's something that happened. She has done nothing wrong. She has done nothing wrong. It's just that she was there with people at the wrong time. Not even at the wrong time, not even at the wrong place. The people that she was gathered with were the wrong guys. That's all I can say. We must try to stand together and fight the gender-based violence. It's not nice to see a woman being raped. For not talking, it's something that is not good. As I told you, I was in the house for 3 months. I couldn't go out. I was scared to go out as if people, they can see that something happened to me. But people didn't know anything, but I'm the one that was shy to go out. But one day I decided, I talked to myself, I told myself, you know what, Ayanda, you should get up. Stay strong for yourself, for your child, and for your family as well, because they still need you. I talk to myself, I heal myself, I counsel myself. I decided to be strong. I did not decide to take suicide because that was not an option for me. That is not who I am. I know who I am. I am a strong woman. That is why I call myself today a rape survivor. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Sis Ayanda, for your vulnerability today. Thank you for empowering all of us here in this hall. And just thank you for your bravery. And on behalf of CBC, as a token of our appreciation, thank you so, so much.
Morning, everyone. Henrique and I would like to talk about breast cancer awareness. I started this awareness in honor of my grandfather, John Miller, who died from cancer in 2018. Next slide. Breast cancer affects 1 in 8 women during their lives. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancer to affect women worldwide. There is no adult woman, population, or culture that is free from this risk of getting breast cancer. The rates of cancer vary throughout the world, from 1 in 8 women in the United States to much less in Japan or the Far East. There is no accurate data for the frequency of breast cancer in South Africa, but we think they may be similar because we have the same diet and lifestyle as they do. Anyone with breast tissue can develop breast cancer. Women of every age are at risk, from young to the old, all races, cultures, people from the work of life, rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, insured and insured. Even men can get breast cancer themselves. A woman younger than 40 has a risk of about 1 in 230 of getting breast cancer, with the figure rising in 1 to 29 after the age of 65. This is a woman who survived breast cancer when she was in high school. Her name is Jenna from the foundation My Breast.
My name is Jenna and I work for the Breast Health Foundation. I wish I was with you guys in person and chatting to you guys in person today. Hopefully this video will be the next best thing. As I mentioned, I work for the Breast Health Foundation. We are a not-for-profit that focuses on education and awareness of breast health and breast cancer, as well as supporting those who have breast cancer, holding their hands and helping them through treatment. So breast cancer is a scary disease. There are many things we know about breast cancer, and there are many things that we don't yet know about breast cancer. We don't know what causes breast cancer, why you get breast cancer, okay? And some of you may know someone that's been affected by breast cancer, a mom, an auntie, a granny, an older sister, a teacher. Even men get breast cancer, okay? What we do know is that the best possible thing we could do when it comes to breast cancer is early detection. So early detection means that if there's a lump in our breast or something that's not normal, we address it as soon as we find it. We detect it early, because if we detect things early, it's a treat. Now, some of us have in our breasts. As we grow older, things change, and that's okay. But what's good is to get into the habit of self-examining. That every single month you get to know your body. And if things change, if you know your body and change from this month to next month, that's something normal, and that's something you can maybe talk to your parents or a doctor, school nurse, counselor about, and can help you from there. Okay. The most important thing is early detection. I got breast cancer community.
Thank you. Do chances of survival drop if caught later? When cancer remains confined to the breast, it is easy to treat and the chances of recovery are greater. Patients do not die of cancer when it's confined to the breast. It is the spread of cancer to the brain, the bones, the liver, and the lungs which will eventually cause problems. The aim of breast cancer awareness and screening is to catch the breast cancer early before it can escape into the breast, break through the lymph glands under the arm, and spread to the rest of the body. Cancer cells can hide away and reappear in the future. Many of the more aggressive types of treatment for breast cancer, such as chemotherapy, are based around it catching and killing these cancerous cells, even if the cancer has spread to the bones. With various oncology treatments, up to 75% of patients could be living 5 years after diagnosis. Thank you.
Today, there will be a Google form sending out to everyone where you can buy 10 Rand for a bracelet, 15 Rand for a service day, 10 Rand for a service day, 10 Rand for a cupcake, and all the further information will be on the Google forms that we sent out today, and the service day will be on the 20th of August. Thank you.
Thank you to Uyanda and the guest speaker for sharing your story, to Hope and Henrique for raising awareness. What I would like to just say before I end off is, I know this is about women and males sitting here, sitting in the classrooms. It is also your responsibility. You need to uplift and empower women. We all need to take responsibility for it. So I want to end off with what Pope Francis said a few years ago on International Women's Day, and I thought it was a nice ending. So he said, a woman is harmony. She is poetry. She is beauty. Without her, the world would not be so beautiful. It would not be harmonious. A world where women are marginalized is a barren world, because women are not only given life, but they also transmit the ability to see beyond, to feel things with a heart more creative, more patient, more tender. I also like to think of the church, not as an it, but as a she. The church is a woman, she is a mother, and this is beautiful. Women are more courageous than men. Thank you for joining our Women's Day Assembly.